Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Tiff Talk, brought to you by me, Tiffany Shazad. How are you guys doing today? Well, today I'm actually very, very, very excited to talk to you about this topic, okay? It is something that I have been doing that have made a world of difference in my life. And I'm sure that once you're encouraged and inspired to do the same, it can make a world of difference in your life too. So let's just get right into it, okay? This topic that I want to discuss with you today is self care, the benefits of it, the difference that it makes. The wonders that it works, and all of the glorious things that come along with it. Okay. Number one, self care to me is I'm sorry, honey. I'm not gonna be able to meet you for lunch today. I signed up for a yoga class and I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to get there, but I'll see you at dinner, okay? Self care to me is, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to pass on the girls' night tonight. I just bought a really good book and I'm so excited to read it. I just want a hot bath, a glass of wine, and my cozy bed and my good book. But maybe, in the next couple of weeks, we could get together and do something fun. Okay? Yeah, that's self care to me. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you got to say no. So, for those of you who don't know my story, I was blindsided by a terrible separation from my husband about 2 years ago that ultimately ended in divorce. Now, at that time, I had no idea that my husband was even contemplating any of it. So, quite naturally, I found myself devastated and in a very sunken and dark place when this happened. Um, I knew I couldn't wallow in self pity for the rest of my life, so I had to devise a plan. And that was a self care plan. That was a plan to pull me up by the bootstraps out of this dark and sunken place. At the time, I had a 7-year-old daughter who was totally reliant upon me. I had an adult son who still needed my words of wisdom, my encouragement. I had a granddaughter and a mom and a host of people who relied on me emotionally, and some of which who relied on me even financially. So I knew that, I couldn't just be depressed forever. Okay. The first thing I had to do was say to myself, what can I do? What can I do to help myself? And the number one thing that really got me on the course to self care and self love was I cultivated a spiritual side. That's right. So I had never really been a religious person. I was always someone who did pray to God and give thanks and show my gratitude for my blessings and everything that had been bestowed upon me. However, I was never really one to just talk to God and tell him my fears and my anxieties and go to him for strength. You know what I'm saying? And so that was one of the first things that I started to do. I was praying religiously. I was praying morning, noon, and night. The minute I woke up in the morning, before I went to bed at night, over my meals, and at any random time of the day, I was just praying to God. Okay. This worked wonders for me. All right. Because that's what God is there for. He's there for us. He's there for us to take advantage of, to give us comfort, to give us strength, to give us guidance. So yeah, that was one of the first things that I did, and it made all the world of a difference. Okay. Next, I went into meditation, solitude, just allowing some quiet time, setting aside time where I would be still and do nothing. Not even really allow myself to give much thought to anything, just quiet, peace, and stillness. I did that for a little bit, and that helped me gain some clarity and motivate me and inspire me to do a little bit more. Next, I started writing down affirmations, okay? I would write them down, I would recite them openly to myself on a daily basis. I am grateful. I am happy. I am healthy. I am wise. I am beautiful. I am loving. I am kind. I am worthy. And I am enough. And I would tell myself this several times a day, every day for weeks. And you know what happened, guys? Guess what happened? I actually started to believe it. When I started, I was feeling quite the opposite. I was feeling unworthy, unlovable, not good enough. But I told myself every day that I was lovable, and good enough, okay? And what happened was, after a while, I started to believe it, okay? So the next thing I did was I started to read. I did a lot of reading self-help books, Law of Attraction, The Power in Positive Thinking, books that would help me with my thought process to change my thoughts from something negative to something positive, all of which helped me a great deal emotionally. That worked wonders. Okay, even here on YouTube, I followed some YouTubers who are all about positive and motivational influence with people. And, I gained a lot of clarity and a lot of insight just listening to, that kind of motivation. It got to the point where I wouldn't even watch television. I became so consumed in motivational speaking that's all I would listen to on a daily basis. Okay, and to me that was all a form of self-care, because all of this stuff was eye-opening for me. It was helping me to transition back into my old self, my better self. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. After listening to the motivational speeches and reading the books, I decided, to go out a little bit and enjoy life. Not in the club sense or the party sense. I started going out in nature and taking long walks in the park and just enjoying being alive and basking in the sun, and seeing the greenery, the trees and the birds and the butterflies, and just, being grateful to be alive, because I was still here. I was still living and breathing, and I had my life and I had my health. So that nature walk was really eye opening, and it was a form of self care. It was what I had to do to get myself together again, So after the nature walks, I changed my diet. I had gained a significant amount of weight, being depressed, eating all the wrong foods for comfort, cheesesteaks, hoagies, french fries, chips, cookies. I'd done away with all of that stuff, and I started eating a more nutritious and balanced diet. So I started to incorporate greens, kale, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, spinach. I started eating lots of healthy foods. I cut back on red meat. I'm not a vegetarian, but I cut back on red meat, and I would have like seafood and fish and chicken breasts. That's what I would eat. Lots of vegetables, hardly no carbs, no starches. Drink lots of water, lots of herbal tea, green tea, ginger tea, turmeric tea, anything that I thought had a healing property, something that would soothe me, make me feel comforted. um, Anything, like that, I would consume. Lots of water, like I said, with lemon, lots of berries, raspberries, blueberries, anything full of antioxidants. I would consume that. And that brought about a lot of mental clarity as well. As that saying goes, you are what you eat. That is so true. Because when I changed my diet and I started eating better, I started feeling wonderful. I started feeling like, I could think clearer. My emotions, I had better control over my emotions. I had more patience. It just really, really, really changed me. Just doing that little bit for myself, changing my diet. And so when I started to feel really, really, really good, I decided I wanted to go to the gym. So Planet Fitness had just started advertising their 99 cent down, $10 a month membership deal. And I said, you know what? The time is now for me to join this gym. It's 5 minutes away from my home. $10 a month. It couldn't be any better than that. Self care. So I made the commitment to work out 5 days a week at least for an hour and a half a day and do nothing but cardio. And I'm so proud of myself because I stuck to that commitment and I was there religiously. Nothing could stop me. I was there 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and I would do an hour and a half of nothing but cardio. So I do like the stair climber for like 30 minutes and then maybe an hour on the treadmill or 30 minutes on the elliptical and then 30 minutes on the treadmill. And you guys, it was hard at first, but after a while, I started to feel so good. And it was like those feel good endorphins started to like hit my brain. And suddenly going to the gym like that became an addiction. Like today, I'll go crazy if I miss a day out of my routine. So that was actually a very, very, very good thing for me to do in my self care plan because it made me like skyrocket. Another benefit to that was that I lost a significant amount of weight because, like I said, I was eating those negative comfort foods and had gained so much weight when I was depressed. And before I knew it, I dropped so much weight. And I really didn't go into the gym for any type of superficial aspect of it. It was more like a coping mechanism for what I was going through. And it was just like self care. But what I got out of it, was amazing. I lost the weight and I was looking good. And, I began to feel really, really confident, and it just worked wonders for my life. I'm here to tell you guys that there is nothing more rewarding than to tune the outside world out and focus on you for a while. There's nothing negative or selfish about it. You have to do it in order to stay sane. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So you have to fill yourself up with everything before you can let it spill over to anyone else. And so that workout routine, it gave me that fill up. It made me feel so good that it began to just like overflow, those good vibrations and that good energy. And, if it can work for me, I know that it can definitely work for anybody because I didn't think I could do any of what, I'm doing now coming from the place where I started. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing like taking care of yourself. And I don't care if it's just a bubble bath, a good facial, a skin moisturizer or a mask or a new body wash or just to sit down and read. There's nothing like taking that time um, for yourself and telling the outside world, hey, I don't have time for that right now. I have things to do for me. I know in this day and age, a lot of us are running businesses and we have successful careers and things that are very important that we must do. But, in order to be at our best, for our jobs, our careers, our family, and our loved ones, we have to take that time to pour that love into ourselves and to pamper ourselves and to stop and give ourselves a moment and have that me time. It is so, so, so important. Not just for people who are coming out of a dark place, such as I was, even if life is going great, you still have to take a moment to fill yourself up, do things for you. I know for myself, a pivotal moment was recently when I hit my 46th birthday. I was feeling a little down because I was like, this is pretty much going to be my first birthday on my own. For the last 9 years or so, I was just like so used to having to my husband to rely on, my ex-husband to rely on when it came to making me happy or going out of his way to do something to put a smile on my face. And this year, I was like, well, I'm on my own. What is it that I'm going to do? What am I going to do for myself? So I thought about it and I said, well, what is something that I have always wanted to do? And this might not be a big deal to some of you, but I don't live that far from New York City. And I have always wanted to go to a live taping of a talk show. And I did that. I went to New York and I went to a live taping of a talk show. Okay. It was so exciting for me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because prior to me getting married and settling down and having a family, I always wanted to be either a journalist, newscaster, news anchor, talk show host, um, actress, anything in the performing and creative arts or entertainment, I wanted to be. Singer, actress, whatever, dancer, you name it, I wanted to do it because I've always been an artsy type of person. I'm good at decorating. I'm good at cooking. I'm good at, theater and performing and things like that. So being there was inspiring for me. I got there and I felt like this spark, Things went so smoothly for me. I went alone and I was able to interact with the hosts on a personal level. I was able to go backstage. I was able to interact with the audience. And it just was a lot of fun for me. And had I not had the confidence to go alone and to just do my own thing, I would have never had that experience. And I would have never gotten that aha moment that this is it for me. The way that I was able to connect with the audience and be in front of the cameras and feel all of that excitement of being in New York and Times Square, I would have never felt as passionate today as I feel about going after some of my dreams. And even if I never achieve them, which, I believe I can do it, but even if I never achieve them, I'm going to enjoy the ride because this is so much fun. It's so much fun being fulfilled and being passionate about something and having something that drives you. So, as bad as it sounds, I have to be grateful for everything that I've been through because it's brought me back to myself. It's brought me back to my passions and the things that make me feel alive. I mean, yeah, I have my family. I love my children. I adore my children. Anybody who knows me knows that my children mean the world to me. I am absolutely crazy about them and my mama, and my family members. But I am so excited about life again. I can't wait to get back to New York. I am writing a screenplay. I am taking acting classes. I am doing so much, and I have so many things lined up that I didn't think about in the past 10 years, that I didn't even think that I was worthy enough to do anymore. And all of those passions and those dreams have come back to me since I started this self-care journey. Okay. And that's why I want to encourage you because this feels really, really good. It feels so good to be authentic, true to yourself, to do your own thing, to follow your own dreams, your own goals. And you don't need anybody to root for you. You don't need anybody to validate your existence or confirm that it's okay. Be you, do you, for you. Clap for yourself, root for yourself, cheer for yourself, and be your own biggest fan. And let me tell you something. Self-care, okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who doesn't like it, who doesn't support you, who doesn't acknowledge your accomplishments, because you know what? It isn't about them. It's about you, okay? So this is how it goes. It's God, it's you, your family, and then all the other outside factors, okay? You are the priority. Okay? There's nothing wrong, and it is not selfish to prioritize yourself and your needs. Okay? I'm not talking about going out and buying, a $4,000 Chanel bag. I mean, if you got it like that, then you do that. But I'm talking about saying no to things that don't serve you, spending time with yourself, okay? Cultivating your passions, perfecting your talents, and, honoring yourself, pampering yourself, self care. Eating good, eating healthy, working out, getting exercise. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of things that I'm talking about. All right. There's nothing wrong with putting yourself first when it comes to that. I am so excited to share this with you because it has made a world of difference in my life. And I know that if I can pull myself out of the dark place that I was in months ago, anybody can do it. Okay. Life is a challenge. Okay. Yet it's still meant to be enjoyed. You know, we can still find some happiness here on earth while we're here for the short period of time that we're here. And it's meant to be happy, it's meant to be enjoyed. And the only way that you're going to feel satisfied and fulfilled is if you do what is authentic and true for you, what makes you happy. And that starts with self-care, taking the time to get to know yourself, to love yourself, to adore yourself, and to go after all the things that you've ever dreamed of. And I don't care if your dream is to scrap metal. If you want to knock on doors and take people's garbage or, metal and scrap it, then you be the best darn metal scrapper that there is. You don't need anybody to understand your vision or your goals or your dreams. You just go after them and you do them and you do what makes you happy. And if you're satisfied and fulfilled inside, then that's all that matters. Don't be angry. Don't be bitter with people who don't support you. It's not necessary. It's not needed. Keep your vibration high. Keep that good energy going so that all the good things can come back to you. You don't have to be bitter and cut people off. Just fall back a bit and prioritize yourself. That's what I do. I'm not mad at anybody. Watch this glow up, baby. I'm in it to win it now, and that is exactly how you will feel. Start with those prayers, start with that meditation, start with those books and eating good and nurturing yourself and, just taking time for you. Read those books you always wanted to read, watch those movies, date yourself. Try new things, meet new people. There's a whole world out there. And yes, it's scary sometimes, but life is still meant to be lived and enjoyed, you know? And you got to go for it. So that's my little pep talk on self-care. I'm sorry, it's a little late. It's like 3:24 a.m. here, East Coast time. And yeah, it just hit me to share this video, and I'm a little tired, so I'm kind of stumbling over my words. But nonetheless, I hope that I got my point across. I hope that you understand me, you feel me, and you're ready to go take care of yourself and, beautyrize and moisturize and, magnetize and hypnotize and, just do all of the things that you've ever dreamed of. You can make it happen. Put God first, you second, make it happen. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I got more for you coming soon.